going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Before I get this episode started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. So we are finally going on to week 3 as our Chicago Bears travel to Cleveland to play a pretty tough Cleveland Browns team. And the Bears are actually looking to go 10-0 against AFC North opponents since 2013. So I don't know what it is. The Bears are on a roll against the AFC North. It must be because the AFC North used to be really, really bad, but now they're slowly starting to become a tougher division to beat. So the Bears are looking to go 10-0 against the AFC North since 2013. And as of right now, the Browns are a 7-point favorite against the Chicago Bears. Let's look into some injuries about this game for a second. Obviously, QB Andy Dalton is out. Justin Fields will make his first NFL start. Akeem Hicks has been dealing with the illness/knee. I expect him to play this weekend. You have Deshaun Gibson. He was limited the other day. He was out of practice the other day. So I'm not sure what's going on with him. Hopefully he plays. And then the big storyline this week for the Bears defense is that we're getting Mario Edwards Jr. back, which is a huge, huge addition to this defensive line. We're getting him back from suspension. And then Eddie Goldman has been limited in practice during this week. So we may also get Eddie Goldman back. And if we can get both of those guys back, it would be a huge deal as we're going against one of the better running backs in the NFL in Nick Chubb. So obviously the headline of this game against the Cleveland Browns is that Justin Fields is set to make his first career start versus the Browns. And I am excited for this. I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about this. I know there's some mixed emotions going around in the Bears community about Justin Fields making his first career start. Some people think that, fuck it, we should have put in Nick Foles before we put in Justin Fields because, quite frankly, if Justin Fields was not ready 2 weeks ago against Aaron Donald, what makes you think he is ready right now against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney? You guys can answer that question down below in the comment section. Of course, I am in favor for Justin Fields to start this weekend. I am happy that it's finally happening. Unfortunately, it did come via injury, and I hope Andy Dalton gets back and he gets better. Matt Nagy already made it clear. I said in the past podcast, he made it very clear that Andy Dalton is still the starter when healthy. That is just noise, people. If Justin Fields comes in here and beats the Browns, and then he beats the Lions, and then he goes to Green Bay and beats the Packers for some reason, Justin Fields is not coming out. Justin Fields will be the starter for the next 10 plus years for the Chicago Bears. So when you listen to Matt Nagy, that's just noise. He's probably just saying that to make Andy Dalton feel better. If Justin Fields actually comes in here and wins these next couple of games and plays his ass off and balls out, and Matt Nagy still puts Andy Dalton in, Matt Nagy has to go. But let's move on. Justin Fields is set to make his first career start, and I'm excited for this because 1, we have a better chance to win. And 2, in his first NFL career start, he is going back to Ohio, a place where he had so much success as a starting quarterback with Ohio State for 2 years. And he gets to make his first career start. What a beautiful story that is. That is an awesome story to talk about right now, is because he gets to go back to Ohio. And you know those Browns fans, most of those Browns fans are probably also Ohio State fans. So, of course, they're going to be cheering for the Browns, but you know damn well that those Browns fans are excited to watch Justin Fields play this Sunday. There's actually already been a couple in the Bears community saying, you know what? I'm an Ohio State fan. Love Justin Fields at Ohio State. Of course, I want my Browns to win, but I'm super excited to see Justin Fields. And I think everybody in the NFL is super excited to see Justin Fields this weekend. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, he's going to have his rookie mistakes, and we have to live with that. But I much rather see Justin Fields makes mistakes, like throw interceptions, rather than watching a 10-plus year veteran Andy Dalton throw interceptions. At least we know that Justin Fields will learn from his mistakes. For example, look at against the Bengals. He threw that terrible interception. Everyone was going nuts. Everyone's like, oh, damn. Really, Justin? But what did he do? He forgot about the interception. He comes out on 3rd and 9 and makes one of the biggest plays of that football game to seal the win against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that tells you right there that his mindset, he's ready to go. He can do this. I have the utmost confidence in Justin Fields, and I truly believe this. I truly believe that Justin Fields gives us a better chance to win. Andy Dalton's a great guy. I feel like he was playing really good football in that first quarter against the Cincinnati Bengals, but we can't sit here and lie to ourselves. Justin Fields gives the Bears the better chance to win football games. And I think what you're going to see this weekend is going to prove that. Even if we lose, I guarantee you that Justin Fields will still have a pretty good football game. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I feel that Justin Fields can only learn and get better by being on the field and taking those lumps as he goes along in his football journey. Obviously, it's not going to be easy for Justin Fields, like I said, because he's going against Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and Denzel Ward. That's a good group of guys. The Browns have done a really good job in creating that defense. It's one of their strong points of their football team. So what is the expectation for Fields? I don't think there's a lot of expectations. I think Justin Fields was meant for this moment. He's confident. He's poised. He's relaxed. I think he's going to go out there and just play football and have fun. He's going to make plays, and he's going to make some plays that are going to have us scratch our head a little bit. He's going to have those rookie lumps. He's going to make those rookie mistakes. But I think he will have a good game. I'm not going to say a great game. I think he will have a good game. But I think there's going to be some opportunities against this Cleveland Browns defense. A defense that last week against Tyrod Taylor, obviously Tyrod Taylor is a veteran, they gave up 11.4 yards per attempt to the Texans last week. So there is going to be some opportunities for this Bears offense to throw the football. And trust me when I say this as well. Justin Fields is ready to go. He was meant for this moment. I know he probably has a little bit of nerves, but he is ready to go. He is going to be a star in this league. And I know, I have a good feeling that he is going to be the Bears quarterback for the next 10 plus years and have a lot of success in Chicago. Now looking at the Bears defense, they're going to have the tough task in slowing down Nick Chubb, which early in the year, he's already showing why he is the heart and soul of this Cleveland Brown team and why arguably he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. And this is how the Browns offense kind of thrives. This is how Baker Mayfield thrives. They run the football, they get the run game going, and then they hit that play action. They have a lot of weapons. They have Austin Hooper, David Njoku. Obviously, Jarvis Landry is out on IR. Odell Beckham is a game-time decision. They have a lot of weapons, though. They get the run game going with Nick Chubb. They play action off of that. And that's why the Browns are a really interesting team to face, and they're actually a really tough team to face. And Baker Mayfield is probably one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. At the start of the season, I believe he's 40 for 49. So his accuracy is unbelievable. Baker Mayfield is dealing with the left shoulder injury. Obviously, it's the non-throwing shoulder, but it's something to keep an eye on, as if he gets sacked, if he gets hit and he lands on that shoulder, it could be a big deal. And this Bears defense is coming in with a lot of confidence, especially the way they played against the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't want to hear all this bull crap saying, oh, well, it was the Cincinnati Bengals. It doesn't matter. The Bears defense bounced back in a big way, especially after a terrible week one showing against the Rams. And I expect the Bears defense to come in with the confidence, knowing that this is Justin Fields' first start, and play with a little bit of swagger. I think they're going to come in with a lot of confidence and try to get after Baker Mayfield. Obviously, when you look at the Browns' offensive line, it's not an offensive line that gives up a lot of sacks, so it's going to be tough to get after Baker Mayfield. Obviously, he's accurate. He gets rid of the ball fast, but he will be aggressive. He's going to be aggressive, meaning that there may be opportunities for guys like Jalen Johnson, Kendall Vildor, to get their hands on a couple of those footballs. So it's almost kind of like, will we get week 1 Bears defense or will we get week 2 Bears defense? That's going to be a big question mark going into this football game. Like I said, the Bears defense is getting Mario Edwards Jr. back from suspension and could also be getting Eddie Goldman back. I think if we get those two guys back, it's going to be huge, especially going into a game where you know the Browns are going to run the football. They're a blue-collar team. They're going to run the football, play good defense. That's what they're based off of right now. When we get Mario Edwards Jr. back this week, and if Eddie Goldman is playing this week, I know he's been limited, so we don't know yet. But if we get Eddie Goldman back, that's going to be huge for this Bears defense in trying to stop Nick Chubb. So this is a winnable game, guys. This is a winnable game. So I want to go over my 3 keys to a Chicago Bears win. Number 1, like I said, slow down Nick Chubb. Don't give them the opportunity to get into that play action where they're so deadly, right? Slow down Nick Chubb. Obviously, we did a very good job last week against Joe Mixon, another really good young running back in NFL, held him to 69 yards. And I think that's one of the Chicago Bears defensive strengths is slowing down the run. I think they're going to do a good job. That's going to be a main vocal point for Sean Desai and his defense going into this week. But I feel like if we could slow down Nick Chubb, I think we'll be able to peel our ears back and try to get after Baker Mayfield and maybe try to force him into some bad throws and turn over the football. And if we can do that, I think that would be a good step in the right direction to try to get a win in week 3. Number 2, let Justin Fields loose. I know with a lot of rookie quarterbacks, you kind of ease them in. I think Justin Fields is ready to play. He's ready to go. Let him loose. Obviously, center the game plan around him. Don't try to throw him into Andy Dalton's game plan for some reason. I know Matt Nagy does some dumb crap sometimes. Let the man loose. Let him loose. Get him out of the pocket. Trust me, I think Justin Fields will thrive. He is ready for this moment. So Matt Nagy, please let Justin Fields loose. Number 3, get after Baker Mayfield. This obviously kind of goes with slowing down Nick Chubb. If you're able to slow down Nick Chubb, make Baker Mayfield throw the football more, peel your ears back. Khalil Mack, obviously Robert Quinn has had a pretty good start to the season with 2.5 sacks. Go after Baker Mayfield and hit him a lot and force him into some bad throws, force him into those errors. I strongly feel that if the Bears can go in and do these 3 things, they would have a really good chance to win. I feel like this Cleveland Browns team is a really complete football team, but obviously when you look, they're a little bit banged up right now. I think the Bears are going to come in here and play inspired football for Justin Fields. I think it's true when people say that sometimes your teammates play a little bit better when you have the guy that you want playing and and a guy that you actually trust, right? I think these guys trust in Justin Fields. You could just see the smiles in their face as you're watching these interviews. They trust Justin Fields, and they're ready to go. They're ready to play hard football for him, and that's nothing against Andy, but I think everyone in that locker room was ready to see Justin Fields play. So my prediction is Bears 24, Browns 21. I truly feel that Justin Fields is going to play just well enough to get us the win, and I think the Bears defense will have some key turnovers to help us propel us to a win and make us 10-0 against the AFC North. So like always, let me know down below in the comment section your prediction for the Bears versus Browns, and let me know if you're excited to see Justin Fields this week against the Browns. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media channels, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.
This year, I'm betting the football season with MyBookie. When betting with MyBookie, you'll receive a 100% match on your very first deposit up to $1,000.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Betting with MyBookie this season was the obvious choice for me because every time this happens,
Touchdown Bears!
or this happens,
80-yard touchdown run!
I win. The best part about this whole thing is that you can support the show by using the promo code KOTM. So Bears fans, what are you waiting for? Go to mybookie.ag, use my promo code KOTM, and receive a 100% match on your first deposit up to $1,000 and make it a winning season with MyBookie today.